Hi everyone. Okay, so today I have a review from Paul Rubens, the Paul Rubens watercolor paintbrushes and fine artist grade watercolors. So just a few things to remember. This set is it's real hair. So I don't know if you can see this, but the one and the 6, these two here, are weasel hair, and the 4 and the 10, these two here is the 4 and the 10, they're squirrel hair, and these two, the 1 and the 6, are weasel hair. So it's all natural hair, and I don't normally use natural animal hair of any kind. So this is going to be different for me. I have tried these two. I've wet them, and I couldn't stand it. I had to try them. So anyways, this one, the mop one, I haven't tried yet, and the fine liner small round one I haven't tried. But so I'm just going to do a quick review to any of those of you who are interested. I had never heard this brand name before. So when he contacted me to review his product, I was more than happy to. So let's go ahead. So I'm just going to, I don't want this to be too long of a video, but I'm just going to pull each one out, and they're beautifully packaged, although I wouldn't be keeping them in here, but if it was something I used all the time. So, okay, that's got a few loose ones. I had to look up what these were made out of because all the packaging is in, I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese, but so of course I couldn't read it. So I looked up the exact same package, and this here set sells for $68 on Amazon in Canadian dollars. So anyway, maybe the water will fix that. So I'm going to take them all out just to make things a little easier. And I'm just going to set this aside. And I'm just going to lay them here. And we're going to try each one of them. And we're going to do a swatch for the paints. So now the paints too are packaged very nicely. And again, there is English here, which is nice. It just says artist transparent watercolor, fine artist watercolors. So it comes with a chamois. I'm not really sure what you use the chamois for. I haven't really used a chamois with watercolors. If anybody knows, please let me know. Maybe it's just, something nice to wipe your brushes with. I don't know. Anyways, it's pretty. I can use it for my glasses. And then the tin, and it has its own color swatch book of all the colors that you can get. And again, this is all written in Chinese or Japanese, so I don't know what any of the colors are. Even under here, it's not in English at all. Beautiful colors though. So I couldn't really go by the names on here. Now if you open up, I'm just going to move this aside. So now if you open up the palette, I've already opened these all up. Looks pretty normal, doesn't look any different than, there's a lot of palettes that come in this type of a container. Like for example, the Jane Davenport one comes in that. The Prima Colors, Dusty, comes in that. So there's a lot of these cases, so it just looks pretty standard that way. There was a little swatch booklet, and it's all in Chinese or Japanese too, so I couldn't read that. So I did make one for us to use. Just going to set these aside. So, okay, so let's get started. I made up a little template here to use. Actually, I'm just going to Let me just gonna rip these off here if I can. No, okay, so I'm gonna leave it on then. We'll just move this here. Just moving my other. I'm gonna move, these are my favorite brushes, so I don't want to mix them up. I'm just gonna move them here. Okay, so there we have the 4 brushes that we're gonna try, that we're gonna do the swatches with. And again, I've never used natural animal hair, so it should be interesting. So here what I've done is I've off the wrappers of all the pies. I've half pans, I call them pies. I took the wrapper off and I put them on here. And actually, I'm just going to stick my glasses on. Each one does have it small written permanent lemon yellow, cadmium yellow. So that does have them on there. So I've stuck them here. And we're just going to do a little bit of color swatching. So before I start, what I usually do is I spray my colors, get them activated. And I think I'm going to go with the little one because this seems pretty, or maybe I'll try this one. So I'm not used to this with natural hair, it drying all fluffy like this, because the ones that I use are synthetic, that are my favorites, and they don't dry like that. So, but natural hair is supposed to hold a lot more. So let's see what it does. So I'm just going to wet it up, and just I usually just dab it out. So it looks very nice. Actually, there's a beautiful, beautiful point on it. So first we're going to do permanent lemon yellow. So just going to take a little bit of this. Oh my gosh, I just re-dipped it before because I'm used to doing that before I put it in the pan, and look at how much water it's holding. It's swollen up. So maybe it's too much water for swatching. It's very brilliant. Okay, that's too much water. Okay. I'm not used to these brushes, so it does hold a ton of water. So there it is. Whoops, there it is. I'm going to just leave it like that. I'm not going to redip it. So, because I like to, I'm just going to actually take a little bit off because I like to go from dark to light. I'm noticing that the hairs are popping out here. So if you're doing detail work, that might get some color where you don't want it. But, you know, maybe it's just because we're not. Just a minute here. Yeah, see? I'd cut that off because it shouldn't be sticking out like that. Okay, so let's we'll take the next color, which is cadmium yellow medium. So now, because I didn't have a lot of water, actually, it's very, very highly pigmented. You don't need, like you almost don't need anything when you touch it. Picks up a lot of pigment. So there, okay. You got to get used to your brushes. So it's actually it's buttery. It's very, very nice. The pigments are really nice. So I'm just going to dab this off. And now we're going to do cadmium red light, which looks very orange to me. Looks very oh my gosh, that's very orange. So this is not your typical cadmium red light color. It has a lot it looks super orange. It's pretty though. Okay, so next we're doing red rose, which is one of my favorite. This kind of looks deeper than a red rose that I'm used to. So, gosh, I hardly touched that pan, and if I added water to this, it would go, I bet you it would go right down the page. That it's very, very, very highly pigmented. Okay, you know, I don't like those hairs coming out, so I'm going to use a different brush now for the rest of them. That's a beautiful rose red. So let me see. I'm going to use the smaller one and that one too. You know, I'll probably put some cleaner. It's kind of like a, I don't have it right beside me, but it's kind of waxy to clean your brush. And I might just put it on and leave it there for a couple days. Maybe it just in production or whatever, maybe it, see, it's good there, but as soon as it gets wet, it spreads. Okay, so anyways, let's try. This one is Permanent Violet is the next one. So let's go here. So this brush is better for doing this. Watch, oh my gosh, I can't believe how highly pigmented it is. I don't have enough brush here for this. So let's, maybe it's not better for that. One thing I can say so far is there's a ton of pigment in them. So now I'm going to use the number 10, which, where's my paper? Oh, come on. The number 10, which is the squirrel hair. Yeah, so let's try that one. Okay, I won't be able to pick up too much with this one because it's going to hold an awful lot. This is beautiful. That's really a beautiful feel to that brush. Okay, so we're going to do ultramarine, France, I think French ultramarine, which is here, which I love ultramarine. That's beautiful. Yep, beautiful. The pigment is really nice. A little granular, which is awesome because it's from the true stone. That's really, really pretty. It's hard to do a little swatch with a big brush, but it's going to give us an idea. Can't believe how much water this brush holds. It holds a ton of water. It'd be good for if you have a bigger amount of room. So, okay, so let's do, the next one is Payne's Gray, which certainly doesn't look like a gray to me. Let's see, Payne's Gray. Oh my God, it's green. I have mostly water in this brush. Oh, wow. Wow. Like, I cannot believe how much water this brush holds. Synthetics don't hold that much. I mean, they hold a nice amount, but that's just crazy. That's really, really nice. So this is not a Payne's Gray. I don't know if they made a mistake because Payne's Gray is one of my favorite colors. I love, love, love Payne's Gray. It's good for shadowing. It's good for doing fine line work with a finer brush. I love Payne's Gray. And that's green. So maybe there was a mistake, but it's a very beautiful color. Very, very beautiful color. Okay, so the next one is Emerald Green Deep. So I just got to maybe take a little bit of water over there. Emerald Green. Oh my goodness. That is very pretty. Very brilliant. Colors are really rich. Very, very rich and very highly pigmented if you're looking for that. So the next one is Yellow Ochre. Another color I love. It's just good for mixing, especially for mixing skin tones. I use that a lot for when I make my own skin tones. It's very nice. It's a nice deep color. It's pretty. Actually, it's really, really nice. I would use that one. That's really nice. Okay, the next one is Umber. So let's see. Whoops, I didn't get enough on there. This looks what's going on here? I guess it's pretty light because every one I barely had to touch it, and this one had to. It's very nice. It's kind of it's a pale for an umber. Umber is usually not so pale, but I really like it. because if you notice that one, I dipped my brush in quite a couple times. The rest of them, I barely touched it. But it is very nice. It is a subtle, it's more of a subtle umber. Very nice. Okay, so this one is burnt brown. Oof, I like this. Burnt, it's a really pretty color. Could use that on, even for rocks. That would be nice. I like it. It's very grainy. I like that in some cases. For a brown, I would like that. That's really nice. See this yellow ochre now that it's dried? It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And so is this umber. It's very transparent. It's a very transparent umber, which is really, really nice. You could use this almost for a skin tone itself. Okay, so the last one is coal black. I rarely ever use black, because black, as soon as you add black to something, forget it. I'll use Payne's gray or something else. The odd time I'll use black, but let's have a look here. Coal black. Putting quite a bit of water is loading onto this, because I'm just not used to how much water that this holds. It just, you touch it in the water and it just sucks it right up. So, I mean, obviously this is, the natural hair does make a huge difference. Very, very nice. So what I'm going to do, I've tried all three of the brushes right now. And keep in mind, when you have your brushes, if you're a beginner, when you wash them, make sure you clean them out good and swish them around really good in clear water, and always lay them flat to dry. Don't lay them like this to dry, because the water will run down into the wood body and into the glue and everything that's holding that in there. So lay them flat, let them dry naturally, and then put them, you know, where you want to have them. So this here is a mop style. I love mop styles for backgrounds. And I do have some of my own. I have a Princeton Neptune, and this is, I love that one. I have, what's my other ones? Anyways, I got a couple other ones that I love. I just don't see them right around here offhand. But, so I love using them. So it'll be interesting to see this one. So I'm going to wet it up. I'm just going to make a nice drag down. Okay, it's pretty hard. It's gonna, when you first wet them, there's a little residue that's kept on them to keep their shape, and there's a name for it, I can't remember. But so you swish it around really good in the water the first time, the first use, and that'll all come off. So I've just dipped it in the water, so it's just pudging full of water. You can just see the shine on it. It's just loaded. So, I'm going to pick, what one am I going to put down here? I think I'm going to take the emerald green. No, what am I going to take? The ultramarine. We'll do the ultramarine down the side. So, which one's the ultramarine? Okay. So I just loaded up with a good amount of water. And I'm just going to dip that in there. Actually, let me just move it around on here. You need more space when you use one of these mop brushes. Oof, is it ever nice? It holds a lot of water. I don't know if that's going to be a big enough spot down the side. Just going to go down. There's still a ton of water in here. You could do a lot of background with this. Wow. This is very nice. So the ones I just put that in my clean water. I usually have two water things. Here, I'll show you. I usually have two water, a dirty and a clean. And I just dunked it in my clean water, which I do often. So of these, I really like the squirrel hair ones. They hold a lot of water. The weasel ones, It's not, I don't think I would use them. They're not, well, first of all, they got their hairs all, maybe that's a tendency with the weasel hair that the hairs maybe don't stay straight. But as far as these sizes, I have some true favorites. This Grumbacher is amazing, and there's never a little hair that sticks out of it. And the other size is, what's the other size? Is a 6. So this is, well, this is a 4. Oh no, that's still smaller, but these are all synthetic ones. Here's a 6. Okay, so I have a Princeton 6, and this is it's synthetic, mine, but see how the hairs, they're never out of place. So for those sizes, I think I would stay with these ones. But I definitely will use these 2 squirrel brushes. And when you purchase brushes, you can purchase individually. You don't have to buy a set of 4. Love these brushes. The paints, they're very nice. They're not the color shades that I normally use. My shades are more, more in this tone, kind of. But anyways, they're beautiful though. I really love the umber. It's a very transparent umber. I think where's the Payne's Gray now? Oh, here. I think I don't know if there was a mix-up with this for the Payne's Gray. I would have loved to see what their Payne's Gray is like, especially because everything's so highly pigmented. They're beautiful. Highly pigmented, rich colors. They are very nice. I wouldn't mind if I looked through here and tried, a few of the colors that I tend to use more often. Because they're so highly pigmented, I really would like to try some of the shades these shades that I normally use. And because there's no English, I can't even look to see what they're saying is a Payne's Gray. I'm thinking maybe one of these. Or maybe on this side. I don't know. I'm guessing. See, this is kind of a dark for a Payne's Gray, but maybe I'm going to send a message back to the fellow that sent me these, and maybe he'll mail out a Payne's Gray for me to use. But I would definitely recommend these. They're beautiful. They're really nice, and especially if I do more intricate painting, like I do people, and so there's more fine lines and that. If you do mopping, you do big backgrounds and everything, then these are like, they spread, that it would last for a very long time. My favorites are the yellow ochre and the umber. Those are my 2 favorites, and I really like the rose red. So anyways, that's my review for these. I would give them like a 4 out of 5. So enjoy, and I'll put the link where you can buy them below. And thank you to Paul Rubens for sending this for me to review. I really enjoyed it, and I'll definitely be using these 2 brushes. Wonderful. Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye.